Welcome back to the Sid Rosenberg Show.
When it comes to foreign policy, there is nobody of the 17 candidates better than Lindsey Graham.
Mr. Trump's solution to destroy ISIL is for us to go to take oil from Iraq and Syria and pay our wounded warriors with it. That is the most absurd way in the world to destroy ISIL.
What do you believe? What is your way the best to destroy ISIL?
You got to have a ground component. You can't do it from the air, Sid, and we don't have the right configuration on the ground in Iraq. Obama has 3,500 troops. I would add 10,000. Nobody seems to understand what you got to do to destroy ISIL.
Because they're scared, Lindsey. Because, look,
They're scared to tell people something they don't want to hear.
Right. Not that you need my approval. See, I agree with you.
Don't vote for me. Don't vote for me if you don't want somebody to destroy ISIL. I intend to destroy these bastards.
It's Sid Rosenberg on 640 Sports.
Joining me now is CNN senior legal analyst Jeffrey Toobin, also a former federal prosecutor. Jeffrey, what do you think happened behind closed doors at that jail to get Kim Davis released today?
Well, this is actually a fairly straightforward legal situation. Contempt is different from a prison sentence. Contempt, which is what Davis was in, is designed to force a certain kind of conduct. And once that conduct has been realized, there's no more reason for contempt. So the federal judge, Judge Bunning, said, look, I now believe that same-sex marriages will be allowed to take place in Carter County, and thus there's no more reason to hold her in contempt, because the reason she was in contempt is that she was preventing these legally authorized marriages from taking place.
So the bottom line is if same-sex couples come to her county office and the deputies issue these licenses and she allows them to do that, then everything will be okay?
Exactly. That's exactly right. And you know, same-sex couples have an absolute right to get married in that county like every other county in the United States. It doesn't matter whose signature is on their marriage licenses. As long as they have a right to get married and as long as they can get married, she can believe exactly what she wants to believe. But the issue is, will these marriages be allowed to take place? Now, based on what her lawyer just said, I don't really understand if she is going to let them take place. But if she does, through the deputy clerks, then I think the legal controversy is over. If it doesn't, if she prevents the marriages from being taken place, she's going to go right back to jail.
Take my photo off the wall if it just won't sing for you. 'Cause all that's left is gone away and there's nothing there for you to prove. Oh, look what you've done. You've made a fool of everyone. Oh, well, it seemed like such fun. Till you lose what you had won.
Good tune, bro. A little jet for you. Look what you've done. You made a fool of everyone. That was Jeffrey Toobin with Jake Tapper yesterday. Jeffrey Toobin was on our show an hour ago, and he was great. If you want to hear the interview with me and Jeffrey Toobin from CNN, just go to our website. It's up already. Good job by Ricky at sidrosenberg.net. And I started out by asking one very simple question. Did Kim Davis break the law? Because if she broke the law, regardless of your religious beliefs, she belongs in jail. And he said yes, without hesitation. After that, we can argue all day long. That's why my next guest is coming on, because she's the best at it. She does a magnificent show each and every day on my sister station, WFTL 850, from noon to 3, and for 24 years has been the industry standard for talk here in South Florida. And that's my dear friend Joyce Kaufman. Good morning, Joyce. How are you?
Good morning, Sid. So you can add Jeffrey Toobin to your cast of morons this morning, huh?
I guess. I had a feeling you may disagree with Jeffrey. Then I'll ask you the same question I started off with him. Before we get to any religion, did Kim Davis break the law?
No.
Okay. You don't know? You said no.
I said no.
No. But she did. She was held contempt of court. In court, I should say so.
She was, but you can see just how long that lasted. Because, in fact, there was really no there. This is a battle of wills in that county. And it's a good thing that's happening, because I got to tell you, it's about time people understand that the 10th Amendment is on the Constitution to make sure that the federal government never overstep its bounds. It says that things should be handled by a federal government and everything else shall be decided by the states. It's close to the people. They know what they want. And in this case, the Supreme Court had no right, I maintain, it had no right to tell states what the law is regarding marriage, particularly redefining marriage. This is insane. I can't believe you're defending this.
No. Here's what I'm defending. You can argue the Supreme Court has no right to do that, but here are the facts, Joyce. They've done it. Therefore, because they've done it, you need to abide by the law. You can argue they shouldn't do that. I agree with you, but they've done it. Therefore, you need to follow the law. This society is about following laws, not about religion. Law comes first, then religion.
Really? This federal government that doesn't follow immigration laws, that decides which laws
listen, I agree with you. I agree with you. The federal government has to be taken to task, but it doesn't matter here. Whether they made the law is in place. She needs to follow the law.
It is not a law. It is a Supreme Court decision. The law in Kentucky is that only a man and a woman can get married. She's following the law in the state, which is the only power that should be determining what marriage is. So she's following the law. Not only that, her moral principles, there's always accommodation made for moral principles. There has been since the beginning of time. If you're a Jehovah's Witness, you're a conscientious objector, and you don't have to go fight a war. We have always accommodated people's religious beliefs. But all of a sudden, Christians are supposed to put their religious beliefs aside, important ones, mind you, the ones that hold together families and society. We're supposed to ignore them and follow rules that are based on a court. 9 justices, 5 of whom are insane. This is an outrage. I am so proud of Kim Davis. I stand with Kim Davis. And if I could, I'd go to jail for Kim Davis.
All right. Well, I love you. You know that. And I must preface it by saying, to me, she's a common criminal. That's all she is. She's not a hero. She's not a martyr. She works for the county. The laws are in place. She refused to acknowledge it. She was held contempt. She was put in jail. To me, this is not Nelson Mandela. I'm sorry. It's just not.
Well, what is Nelson Mandela to you? When is it going to be important enough for you to say that people should stand for the right things, not stand just because of their religious beliefs, but for things that have been historically good for society? Look at the mess we're in right now, all over the world, but particularly in this country, because we no longer have families that stay together. We no longer place values on having a father in the home. Now it's okay if Heather has mummies. It's okay if Francine has 2 daddies, and it's not helpful.
Oh, we got to get a better phone, but because I want Joyce to continue this. I will tell Joyce, by the way, that men and women get divorced at better than a 50% rate. So don't talk to me about how a man's supposed to marry a woman. It doesn't work, okay? I believe the gay divorce rate is lower than the actual heterosexual divorce rate. I got no issue with 2 mommies and 2 daddies, because it has been proven statistically that men and women don't get it done. I think about 60% get divorced now. So I don't want to hear that nonsense. This country is not falling apart because of gay people. That's not why this country is falling apart.
I mean, I don't want to read between the lines, but it sounds like Joyce is adamantly against gay marriage.
Well, she is adamantly against gay marriage.
I mean, she says this woman is standing up for what's right.
Joyce lives by the Bible.
Well,
and whatever the Bible says. You know, Joyce, and again, I'm not knocking her. She's a religious person. This is the way she feels. My issue with Joyce is don't tell me it's okay because of your beliefs. You got to follow the law first. And secondly, don't tell me this country is falling apart because there are 2 mommies and 2 daddies. I mean, Jesus. I mean, Christ. I'm not buying it.
This is a complete U-turn from the woman I met like 15 years ago.
What happened to her?
I don't know. What has happened to our fair-haired sister?
Was she like really liberal 15, 20 years ago?
Oh, yes. Oh, my God. Yeah. The essence of liberal.
Well, maybe she's upset with what's going on in the country, and she decided that the way she used to feel was part of the ruination of this country. That's possible. You're allowed to come around and change your mind.
Well, I mean, she has changed her mind, for sure.
Yeah. She sounds like she is adamantly against gay marriage.
Well, I don't want to jump to conclusions or anything.
Well, she kind of said that, no?
Yes, she didn't say it, but she...
No, she did. She said the country is falling apart because you got 2 daddies and 2 mommies and all that type of stuff.
Wow.
No, she's all about the Bible. I told you.
It's very scary.
what a buddy of mine said a couple of days ago. Well, I keep touting her as the best talk show host down here, and I do mean that. Listen, it's not like she can help me. Like I'm exaggerating. I'm lying. I have no reason to do that. I just find her to be incredibly smart, prepared, and very compelling. But I do think she sounds crazy half the time. I mean, completely crazy.
Well, this is the quintessential, this is the exact point that is scary. What makes religion so scary is people believe that they are right, everyone else is wrong.
Right.
And they're going to shove their beliefs in your face.
Right.
And they're going to force their beliefs on you and try to convert you, turn you around.
I applaud Kim Davis.
She'll go to jail for Kim Davis.
Go to jail for Kim Davis, for some dopey county clerk that just can't get it into her system that we're evolving as a people and gays are allowed to get married. Kim Davis now is a martyr. She's a hero. Kim Davis.
In the religious community, you can imagine. I mean, she was willing to
Mike Huckabee flew out there
for the ship.
Mike Huckabee and Ted Cruz. And Joyce loves Ted Cruz.
So scary. It just is. Because, I mean, you look back what history's taught us and what, people taking action in the name of religion gets you. I mean, that's basically what...
I agree with you. Religion, but then again, that's because you and I are not big on religion, obviously.
But even if I was, I would just, it's a personal relationship with God. Personal.
No, it's not. No.
It should be. No, that's what it's there for.
The ruination of society is that it needs to be a societal relationship. And this administration, those two words come up all the time. And nobody despises, and I'll use that word, Barack Obama more than me, including Joyce. I despise them. Kerry, Holder, the whole administration when he was there. I can't stand any of them. They make me sick. They are race baiters and anti-Semites and bad guys. That's my opinion. But one thing has nothing to do with the other. When the Supreme Court comes down with that ruling, you need, as you would say, to abide by that.
Right. You need to abide by that. But I'm telling you, it's a personal thing. Look,
it's not personal.
Go home, pray all day, tithe all your whole paycheck to the church.
And then go to work and do what you're supposed to do.
Right. And that's it. And leave it there. Leave it at home. Personal. It's personal. I don't even need to know about it. No. It is.
Jesus is bigger than that. See, this is where you've lost your way.
But Jesus is different to everybody.
Everybody's
Jesus is different.
You have lost your way.
I never had a way.
Well, that's part of the problem. Maybe that's why you are so morally bankrupt. Maybe Joyce is right. Maybe you do need a little more Jesus in your life.
No.
Huh? Anyway, she was about to say that part of the ruination of the country is two daddies and two mommies and all that stuff. In her effort to back Kim Davis, she is back. Joyce, I'm sorry. You were making a point about two mommies and two daddies and all that stuff, so go ahead.
No, I was just making a point that, there's nothing wrong with, commenting that you have a lot of marriages falling apart these days. You know why? Because we do nothing to support the institution of marriage. We make a joke out of it.
No, that's not why. That's not why. Because people cheat and don't care. And basically people have become, I'll tell you this, gay people actually have a lot more virtuous than heterosexuals that marry every single day. The people have been completely corrupt. They've lost their way. They don't care. They don't value human life. They don't value relationships. Nothing to do with anything else other than we're not the same people we were 50, 60 years ago. Bottom line.
Yeah, well, speak for yourself. One of the reasons you say that is because people have fallen away from faith. Whatever that faith is, whether you're a Christian like Kim Davis, who got born again a few years ago, or whether you're a Jew who practices and goes to temple, when you answer to a higher power, when you believe that everything you do, you're going to have to answer for one day to a power greater than yourself, your behavior is completely different than if you think there's no accounting for what you do.
Well, that's fair. I mean, although I will tell you that I know a lot of very religious Jews, some related to me, that wrap tefillin every single day, that go to shul, that every Saturday morning they're there for a minyan, and they cheat and get divorced. And they don't think that they're the highest power, but guess what? They live their lives with sin, and they go to temple every goddamn day. So then what?
Well, listen, I think that, listen, you want to know what I think about that? I think they should find a savior, and then maybe they can stop sinning. I mean, I was the biggest sinner like Paul, Peter, any of them.
Well, let me ask you this. Let me stop you right there, because I find this is why you're so interesting, because Lengel actually said that when you were off the air. He goes, what the hell happened? I go, what do you mean? I don't know you all that long. He goes, you got to understand, this is a complete 180. The Joyce that I knew 15, 20 years ago was the complete antithesis of the Joyce today. So did you just come to the realization impression that part of the ruination of this country, of our society, is in fact less God, that all of a sudden you became a completely different person?
Absolutely. Everybody has that moment of truth. And for me, it was in understanding that the lifestyle I was leading and the lifestyle that the people I chose to hang around with was leading was completely destructive. It was destructive to myself, to my family, to my community. And when I got into a faith-based lifestyle, everything got substantially better. The people I hung around with were better. The way my life went was better. It's not a matter of luck. It's a matter of being obedient to a power greater than yourself, whatever you call it, Sid. Yeah. Some people worship rocks, the ocean, Allah. I don't care. But if you answer and you know that your behaviors, you don't have to be accountable for it one day, you're different, you're changed, you're born again, or whatever the expression, another religion might want to use. I totally get Kim Davis. She was 4 marriages. She had a lousy life, was doing everything wrong, and then she got saved, and it's a big deal. It changed her, and she wants to be obvious about that. She believes it's a good thing for people to live up to a moral standard that's higher than the Enquirer and the Kardashians.
Okay, but her idea of a moral standard is not mine. I think there's nothing immoral about gays getting married. I don't care what the Bible says. Just like I think the Constitution should be amended, the Bible should be amended, quite frankly. So the question becomes, why can't she go to church and pray and love Jesus and have that stuff all over her house? But when it comes time to go to work, follow the rules like everybody else.
Really? Well, let me tell you something. When I first came on the air 24 years ago in this market, I wasn't even allowed to say God. We weren't allowed to talk about things like that. And it's little by slowly that people finally said, I'm breaking out of this. I'm going to talk about it if I want to. I'm going to accept it and embrace it if that's who I am. The first one who started it was Delilah on a music station. Yes. She said, I'm saved. If you don't like it, go to hell.
Right. I do remember. I remember
literally,
that. And I like Delilah, too.
Go to hell. Yeah, literally. That you have your choice.
But be honest, my point. I'm not telling you that it's a bad thing. I'm not saying don't love God, don't live your life like that. What I'm telling you is there needs to be a clear-cut separation between how you feel about God, what religion you practice, and all that, and your job. That's
all right. Well, then let me tell you the bottom line about this. The state and marriage is a religious decision, in my opinion.
Son of a bitch. I'm telling you, it's the best conversation we've had in a long time. I mean that. This is great. And we can't seem to get a decent phone connection.
I believe that was a landline, too.
All right, let's take a quick break. Hopefully she'll come back one more time. My phone is blowing up. Joyce Kaufman, and we'll also talk to Brian Baldinger, 888-640-9385. We'll come back right after this.
Guest on 640 Sports started talking.
Matt Millen. Matt, how are you?
Good, Sid. How you been, my friend?
Well, I've been angry, to be honest. It's been a bad week.
What are we angry about?
I had Dick on a couple of days ago, and he was yelling and screaming about how the liberals are a bunch of wimps. People in this country are okay with our guys getting their heads cut off, and those same people are worried about how we treat terrorists. Don't waterboard them. Are you kidding me? Cut their freaking ears off.
I wouldn't stop at the ears, Sid. You're welcome in my house anytime you want.
Sid Rosenberg, mornings on 640 Sports.
Well, in a 6-week stretch that has defied the imagination for the Mets, they put another chapter together on Tuesday night as they beat the Washington Nationals 8-7. A game the Mets were down 7-1. Matt Harvey started, didn't pitch well.
Location was off. I wasn't really able to throw an off-speed pitch, where I wanted to, and a good team like that's going to put the ball in play, and they were able to find some holes, and like I said, I wasn't able to make the pitch when I needed to.
He missed a lot of spots. because he was trying too hard, and again, it's human nature. This guy is he's got the persona of something that he's just a player, and a great one. But I was very proud of him. He would go out there with that one kid on his back the way it was, and to carry that load out there on that mound is tough to pitch with. And he did the best he could tonight. And you know what? We'll get him ready for whenever he's going to pitch again, and hopefully, he relaxes and has a better night.
But the Mets rallied for 6 in the 7th, and then Kirk Neuenhuis hit a pinch hit home run off Jonathan Papelbon in the 8th to give the Mets the lead and eventually the win.
I'd have to tell you, Gary, of all the days I played and being in this booth, it's one of the best September games I've seen in quite some time. It started as a Matt Harvey kind of day, and we were just really chronicling what he was going to do. He left the game losing 7-1. You just figured the game was going to be over at that point, but the Nationals bullpen could not do it in the 7th. They used 4 pitchers. They walked 6 batters. Cespedes came up with a big hit to put them where they needed to be. The tying run was walked in, and then you talked about Neuenhuis. 2 for 18 this year as a pinch hitter, comes up and hits his first pinch hit home run in the year that's been so crazy for him anyway, and he becomes a big part of this ball club in September.
I turn the TV off to turn it on again, staring at the blades of the fan as it spins around. Counting every crack, the clock is wide awake, talking to myself, anything to make a sound. I told you I wouldn't call, I told you I wouldn't care, but baby, climbing the walls gets me nowhere. I don't think that I can take this bed getting any colder. Come over, come over, come over, come over, come over. You can say I'm done the way you always do. It's easier to lie to me.
Mets are quite a story right now. The New York Metropolitans. Quite a story, huh? Pretty cool stuff going on there, man.
That's special. Something special there. It's just got to be, man.
Crazy. Last 2 days.
Yeah.
No way that they were down 4-1 on Monday. They were down 7-1 on Tuesday, and they won them both. Cespedes, a huge base-clearing 3-run double last night. Neuenhuis with the game-winning home run homer earlier. When they were down, I guess 7-0 at the time. But make a long story short, they've been amazing. A team that could not score a run early in the season that had to win games 2-1 and 1-0. Now all of a sudden scoring runs at a torrid pace, and even on days where DeGrom doesn't have his best, or Syndergaard doesn't have his best, or yesterday Matt Harvey tired and not his best, Mets find a way to win the game. They're now built up a 6-game lead, and they have one more against the Nats today, an opportunity to sweep Jacob DeGrom on the mound for the Mets, Strasburg on the mound for the Nats. But they're not only winning games, the Mets. They were nicknamed the Amazins way back when. And they were nicknamed the Miracle Mets way back when with Tug McGraw, God rest his soul. You got to believe. And that has been this team, winning games that they have no right winning.
The dugout was unbelievable after that Neuenhuis home run.
Oh, my God.
First of all, when did the Mets sign Eric Young Jr. again?
About 3 weeks ago.
Yeah,
they're very loyal to those guys. They liked EY. So I think Joyce is trying to call back. I think she's tried to call back like 1,000 times. She was on twice. And the conversation was great both times. And for some reason, the phone issue.
I don't know what happens to the phone here. And, I mean, Z-Mac is having trouble with it.
Is it us or is it the outside world?
I don't know. It might be our system. I don't know. Just sometimes or another when it goes haywire.
It does go nuts here every now and then. And Brian Baldinger, NFL Network, is supposed to join us in a couple of minutes. Is that Brian now? And how does the phone sound?
Yeah, it's okay now.
You sure?
Yes.
You look like all worried.
Because I was sure like 3 times today, and we've had phone issues. So
yeah, but hold on. First of all, Joyce has been on this show many times before. And it's always, not always, but a lot of time with a crappy phone.
But I couldn't call out. That was the issue I was having from the hotline. It wasn't letting me call out.
Yeah. See,
she gave me a landline number, and I couldn't call that. And then I'm texting her and calling on my cell phone. And
right.
Anyway.
So, but you think it's okay now?
Yeah, I got confidence now.
All right, so let's do this. We'll take a short break. Brian Baldinger will join us each and every Monday throughout the football season. But Monday was an off day, and yesterday he forgot, quite frankly. So he's with us today, which is great because the NFL season starts tomorrow up in Foxborough with Tom Brady and the reigning world champion Patriots getting set to host Ben Roethlisberger and the Pittsburgh Steelers. Will take a quick break and we'll break down week 1 of the NFL season with NFL Network's Brian Baldinger right after this.
Sid's guest on 640 Sports started talking.
If you don't love Bobby Bowden, you don't love Jesus. You like that? You like that, Bobby? Huh?
That ain't bad, boy. That's good. That's good company.
Not bad, right? How about
that? Not bad.
When was the last time you were introduced on a radio show where you were right there, you and Jesus?
I don't know, but I can't think think of a better guy to be introduced with.
Sid Rosenberg, mornings only on 640 Sports.
Summer has come and passed. The innocent can never last. Wake me up when September ends. Like my father's come to pass. 7 years has gone so fast. Wake me up when September ends.
Leo Baldwin, our boss, is so jealous of the Mets. Well, Yankee fan, of course. Yankees lost the game in the standings last night. They lost to Baltimore, wasted a Tanaka effort, and A-Rod home run. While the Mets had their second straight improbable comeback, and Leo is very jealous. See, those 27 World Championships mean dick right now, because right now it's all about the Metsies. And, of course, the NFL season. Pats and Steelers tomorrow night, locally here. Dolphins and Redskins on Sunday. Jets and Browns on Sunday. And my Giants in Dallas Sunday night for the Cowboys. Brian Baldinger does an amazing job. NFL Network, NFL Films. He's with us each and every weekend. Here he is to preview Week 1. Brian? That sounds great. Yeah, that's an issue. Yeah, that's an issue. The phones are officially God.
See, I'm not an idiot. We have been having phone problems all morning. All right, hold on. Let me see if I can fix this.
Yeah, probably not. Try it one more time.
He's calling back, I think.
Brian, is that you? Hello, Brian.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got you now. What's going on, partner? How are you, buddy?
Hey, Sid. Things are good, man. I mean, obviously we're 24 hours away from kicking this thing off here. So, everybody is sort of trying to put away all these other ESPN stories and I think the fans just want to watch football, to be honest with you, Sid. I don't think they want to revisit all the stuff that's happening with the Patriots. I think they want to watch the game.
You'd be surprised. There's still some Dolphin fans and Jet fans that are watching this game tomorrow night going, it's unbelievable. They have been cheated. You've got Jet wide receiver Brandon Marshall, who came out yesterday and said they treat white guys differently than black guys.
I don't know about. Well, I mean, look, I just think it's like, I think the Patriots are a lot like America, Sid. We were a better country when Russia was our enemy. And we had a clear-cut enemy. We had this Cold War. I think we're a better, more patriotic, more loving country. I think the league is better when they've got Darth Vader and the villain of the New England Patriots right now. And everybody's sort of picking at them and taking them apart right now, maybe rightfully so. But we're a better league when we have a villain like that.
No, I don't disagree with you. And, again, I thought this was much ado about nothing. I can't believe that there was even a 4-game suspension at the very beginning. But what do you say to somebody that says, look, in the end, he broke a rule. They've now done it twice, and he's not suffering any penalty whatsoever. I mean, look, I don't mind it, to be honest. I'm with you. I want him out there Week 1 against the Steelers. I love football. I love the competition. I want to see the best players. But there is an argument to be made that he did cheat and got away with it.
Well, he lawyered up, like a lot of people in America. You lawyer up, you kind of, you skate, and maybe he did. I do know that, the league had it in for the Patriots, and I do believe that there was some of the punishment and some of the excess of this thing going on for 7 months was in part due to kind of making up for what happened with Spygate 10 years ago. So I do think that was part of the punishment, and so I think that's kind of where it ended up. It ended up in Judge Berman's desk in New York City. It's like, this is ridiculous. Like, there's no smoking gun. There's no evidence, clear-cut, hard evidence. Any normal person can go and go, well, something was done. There's a cover-up here at some level, but they didn't get caught. So, I just think this whole thing looks bad for the league. They try to take down the league's best player. And I don't know if that's a good thing for business in the long term.
What do you think Roger Goodell's future is done with the NFL? I know he makes a lot. Listen, his job is to make money for the owners. He does a great job at that. But once he starts with these penalties and it goes to the legal system, I think he's lost 6 in a row. He's getting his ass kicked. What do you think his future is with the league?
Well, I think he needs to get off the mat, and get off the mat with these players and all these issues. Like, he's the commissioner. You know, get some teams in Los Angeles, build this thing over in London, make all this, just make the league bigger, build these relationships better with the networks. I mean, that's what the commissioner's job is. It's not to sit in a courtroom with Tom Brady or, Ray Rice or any of this stuff. Like, get out of that business. There's other people that can enforce the punishment, enforce the rules. But I just don't think that should be his focus or his job, and he so much said so yesterday.
Brian Boldinger, NFL Network, here for his weekly appearance. Season starts tomorrow night. It seems kind of silly to talk about galvanizing the Patriots. I mean, they just won the Super Bowl. Tom Brady has won more and played in more Super Bowls than any quarterback in the history of the game, and the combination of Belichick and Brady is the best ever. I don't care what anybody says. So with that said, they don't really need to be galvanized. I will ask you, though, according to Gronkowski and a few others, this whole thing did galvanize them. What do you think about that?
Well, I think, the one thing, we haven't seen a repeat, Super Bowl champion since the Patriots. So, it's tough to repeat because of all of the distractions that happen. Typically, you lose, key free agents like the Patriots did, and Darrelle Revis and Brandon Browner, et cetera. And you lose good coaches, typically, when you're a Super Bowl champion team. And so that's one of the reasons why teams generally don't repeat. And you've had a month less in the offseason than other teams. 5 weeks less than the teams that didn't make the playoffs. So I think that if they say, is it possible to galvanize the Patriots even more? Yeah, I think it is. They just speak the company line. They've been instructed how to act. They all fall in line. Nobody ever steps out of line. They speak with one voice, and I think that will be even firmer this year. So they're on a mission. The quarterback is for sure. He's just been tarred and feathered for 7 months. So I think that you'll probably get the best Patriots team you possibly can, or the best that, their talent level can provide at this point.
Giants back in the news today, Brian. JPP made the trip from South Florida to New York on Monday. I think the conventional wisdom was he was going to be a Giant, maybe ready in week 3 or week 4, but he was going to maybe sign his contract, at the very least be with the team and get ready. And news out of New York is this guy's not even close to being able to play. The Giants are very disappointed, in fact, in what they saw when he took his cast off. And he's already back in South Florida with no deal and really no day now when he will return, if he will return at all, to join the Giants. How about that turn of events?
Well, I'm not surprised. I don't know what JPP was thinking. Like, forget about the accident. The accident can happen to anybody that's ever played with fireworks. That's an accident. But to just disappear, spurn the Giants who went down to see him, Jesse Armstead, the guys that went down to see him, and not talk to him, and not show him what the wounds are. The Giants have no way to gauge this whatsoever, none. And so I've been on record saying, you lose your index finger and you're a star defensive end in this league, you're no longer a star.
Right.
And he's not. And he'll never be. He'll never have that grip strength that he once had. Now, he's got good legs. He's a great athlete. He can backflip. He can do all those things. He's never going to be the same player. Now, we don't know the extent of the other injuries. Whether it's the burning of the hand or the broken fingers or the other things that happened, the game is played with the hands. If you can't grip, grab, and separate and disengage, you can't be a star player. You might not even be able to play. And so this whole idea behind he's still a franchise player, the Giants aren't paying him $14 million this year, Sid.
No.
They may not pay him. They may just have to move on, play Odigizua, the rookie from UCLA. They may just have to move on without this and just cut their losses right here. I just think that, he played his – this is really bad pun, but he played his hand all wrong here in this deal.
Bad pun, but really funny. Brian Boldinger with us right now. Seems academic anyway. Dallas won the division last year, and the Giants has always had hope that Eli's going to have a monster year with those wide receivers he's got, if, in fact, Victor Cruz can provide something. We expect nothing from the Redskins anyway. It just seems like, based upon the preseason and Chip Kelly now a couple years in the league, like your Eagles are going to win that division going away, no?
Well, I think so. I think they're the better team. They blew Dallas out, on Thanksgiving night in Dallas. They had it handed to them, although they had the lead in the fourth quarter, and Dallas came back, and Romo put it together, a really good fourth quarter to beat the Eagles in Philadelphia in December. But I think Philadelphia is the better all-around team. They don't have the head cases that Dallas is going to have to deal with this year. They've got a much better running attack, and I think the team that has the best running attack in the NFC East is going to win the East. And I think the Eagles are far and away the best rushing team in that division right now.
You look at the Minnesota Vikings, that's a team a lot of people like. I think they all admit Green Bay, even without Jordy Nelson, will win that division. They're not sure about the Lions now. They lose Sue. They may have taken a step backwards. The Bears have no defense. Minnesota seems to be that wild card team. Year 2 for Teddy Bridgewater and the head coach as well. And Adrian Peterson is back. So you got the Vikings and Niners, Monday Night Football, the late game in San Francisco. A. Peters talking a big game after practically a year of inactivity. What do you expect from Peterson, especially early on?
I expect a big year from Adrian Peterson. I mean, you think about it. He's now paired with Norv Turner, who was once with Emmitt Smith and once with LaDainian Tomlinson. He knows how to work a workhorse back. He knows how to use him. He knows how to protect his quarterback and the quarterback to benefit from that kind of a running attack. And so I expect a big year from Adrian Peterson. I think he's one of those guys that after what happened to him a year ago and a year off and freshen the body up, I expect Adrian Peterson to win the rushing title this year. And I think the Vikings, who last year quietly under Mike Zimmer went from the 31st ranked defense to the...
Oh, good info there. From the 31st ranked defense to...
What is going on today with our phones?
It's the Hind! We've been cursed by the Hind. The curse of the Hind. Well, it was 9.5 great minutes. I can't be, I'm not disappointed. Tell Brian thank you. We'll come back, play some music, and wrap it up and go home. I got more to do anyway. Back right after this.
Sid.
Get out of here, Dewey.
What are y'all doing in here?
We're smoking reefer, and you don't want no part of this shit.
You're smoking reefers?
Come on, Dewey. Join the party.
No, Dewey. You don't want this. Get out of here.
You know what? I don't want no hangover. I can't get no hangover.
It doesn't give you a hangover.
I'll get addicted to it or something?
It's not habit forming.
I don't know. I don't want to overdose on it.
You can't OD on it.
It's not going to make me want to have sex, is it?
It makes sex even better.
It sounds kind of expensive.
It's the cheapest drug there is. You don't want it.
I think I kind of want it.
It's a Sid Rosenberg Show on 640 Sports right now.
Where's Hillary making this speech that's getting all this attention on Twitter right now? Where's that?
That's a great question. Let me check here.
Oh.
But apparently it's a big speech.
FAU Stadium?
Highly unlikely.
Yeah. Big game coming up on Friday night. The Owls. Right now the Hurricanes are a 17.5-point road favorite in Boca Raton on Friday night. Very excited. Very excited about that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It's going to be huge.
No, it's going to suck because Boca's going to be a mess. If you want to go out for dinner anywhere on Friday night, it's going to be
you're right.
A bunch of jerk-offs from Miami, Kendall, and whatever else.
It's going to be nice. It's going to be tailgating. And
I don't want any of that in my neighborhood. I don't want tailgates. I don't want football. I don't want any of it.
All the revenue that comes in the Boca.
Don't want it. We don't need it. We got rich people everywhere. We've got Woodfield. We've got Broken Sound. We got plenty of money in Boca. We don't need the riffraff from Miami coming up there.
You don't want the 305?
Don't want them. Stay away.
561?
No. And I'm not even an FAU. I'm mad at FAU. You know, they blow me that school as it is. I couldn't get a pair of tickets for this game. I mean, my dentist.
It's a big game, bro.
Richard Staller was giving me tickets for the game. The great Richard Staller, my dentist. But when I asked Pat Chun, the AD, I should say, to give me some tickets, he turned me down. So, as far as I'm concerned, they can.
It's very insulting.
Yeah, I'm mad about it. I mean, really mad. Like, well, I guess I'm not that mad, but I think I'm just mad. All right, so.
Mad enough to do anything? No. No, not.
No. Well, I've done a lot. I've already called out FAU 100 times on this show.
That is true.
And don't think I haven't gotten a ton of texts and Facebooks and tweets from people in and around the university who have complained about these folks. Because
Really?
I have.
Oh.
That's right.
Okay. Well.
So I'm just voicing the.
Okay.
I'm the voice of the peeps.
I stand.
What are you looking
corrected.
for?
There was a horrified look.
Me? Oh, no. I'm looking for where Hillary's doing her speech now, but...
Well, what is she doing her speech now?
I don't know. I can't find it.
What is she saying that's got everybody so excited? She loves Israel.
The Democrats are saying this is the speech we wanted Obama to make, but
Right.
Instead she's now making it.
Pro-Israel.
Very pro-Israel.
He'll never make that speech. He's an anti-Semite.
She says, within the first month of my presidency, I will invite Netanyahu to the White House.
Really?
That's what she said. And
What
she
about-
said, you will never question with me in the White House if we're with you. We were always with you.
But here's the thing. I've already known that
Right.
Hillary and Bill are both very pro-Israel, and yet they're both wretched, and I don't want either one of them anywhere near the White House again. So
I agree with you.
It's not like, oh, wow, I didn't realize this. This is a new deal. Let's get her in there. We knew they were pro-Israel.
No, you're right. Before Israel put the wall up,
Yeah.
which now they'd have suicide bombers almost every week.
Remember that?
Now there hasn't been any suicide bombers since they put the wall up.
Right.
So I had to emphasize the wall.
I noticed that.
But when there was these suicide bombings, yes, Hillary, specifically Hillary, when Bill couldn't fly over, would go and
remember this?
be there
remember
for
this?
these memorials
Remember?
and funerals and
Yeah.
stuff like that.
I don't remember.
No.
No.
Does it change your mind on Hillary? Because before you were saying she's a worse person than Caitlyn Jenner.
Right.
She likes Israel.
Well, I mean, that's slightly redeeming. I mean,
She's still a horrible person?
Yeah.
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 How could that change in your estimation, your mind? What could she do?
What could she do?
Yeah. What if she was a Saints fan and she walked around with that little umbrella doing that stupid Who Dat dance?
No, that would
praying to the altar of Tom Benson.
No, that wouldn't help her out.
In Alabama, who do they root for?
In Alabama?
Yeah.
They're not from. They're from Arkansas.
Oh, Arkansas. That's right. My bad. You're right.
They root for Arkansas? The Razorbacks?
No, I was thinking NFL, though. I was thinking Saints. Maybe there was a chance.
I don't know.
It is Arkansas. My bad.
I don't
Right.
know.
Arkansas.
Oh, no. I got to go on with Joyce at 1:30 and yell about Jesus.
Oh.
Yeah, and this time it'll be her show.
Right, it's her show. So she's going to chop my balls off. Well, that's your opinion.
Well,
maybe you feel that way. Now, she can't yell at me because I'm married 20-plus years, so I'm not one of those awful statistics, which is like 60% of heterosexual marriages end in divorce. Higher rate, I believe, than gay marriage, so she can't use that stupid thing on me. Well, and I'm not religious. Now, I do believe in a higher power, but that higher power is not God for me. Higher power, certain days it's been the beach. Certain days it's been my daughter or my son. My higher power changes, and I just have one to get me through the day because I live life one day at a time. But it's not about God for me. I mean, I question God's existence every single day. I've seen miracles like my dad, who's back in the hospital now. I see miracles every day. Then I see atrocities. And I see little kids go with their parents to work one day in Oklahoma City and get blown to smithereens. And I'm supposed to believe that God has a better plan. Nonsense. Nonsense. Complete nonsense. When things go badly, humans take it into their own hands. When things go well, it's God. And Joyce is part of this, and I'll tell it right to her face. There is no more, the biggest inconsistency in terms of just practical thought. The biggest inconsistency and convenient nonsense that takes place on a daily basis is God. Because where else in life can you say, hey, if that's good, that's me. If not, don't look at me. Seriously. Well, the 9/11, those were men that took their will into their own hands. Well, if God is so powerful, why couldn't he change their minds about killing 3,000 people? So I've seen miracles and I've seen atrocities, and if you're going to be realistic about this and not just have this blind faith because you need it to get through the day, that's fine. But from a practical sense, the whole God thing's nonsense. Nonsense. But if you need it, hey, listen, it's hard to do the right thing. It's hard to stay sober. There's a million reasons that people need God every single day. I get it. But don't try to convince me that God exists because a miracle happened, because for every miracle you tell me about, I'll give you something that's 1,000 times worse. Kids starving to death all over the world. In Africa, these little kids, what have they done wrong? Dying. And by the way, very painful, slow death. What did those 300 girls do wrong that were raped by Boko Haram? Or the countless young girls that are raped every single day and then brutally murdered and watching their parents get brutally murdered by ISIS? God has no plan. He has no plan. Because that's not God. Of course it is. So, she's going to yell at me and scream at me and make me sound like I'm a heathen and I have no soul and I'm not a believer.
Well, she's going to do all the things religious people do. She's going to judge you.
Right.
She's going to tell you what you do wrong.
Right.
She's going to tell you your religion isn't as
she
good
may
as
not
hers.
do that with me because we're very close and we do love each other and we have a tremendous amount of respect for each other, and we genuinely really like each other. So she may not do that with me. What she'll say is, it won't be me. It'll be, people like you. People like you are, and it's fine. Listen, again, life is a bitch. Every single day, somebody's got an issue or a problem or, God damn, come on already. Let's have sex every single day and be happy and be happy with the good stuff and don't harp on the negative stuff and stop bitching and complaining. And I'm telling you, man, life would be, but it doesn't go that way. And some people need God to get through it. That's fine. That's Joyce. Me, I need the Mets.
The Mets. So
yeah, Mets got to keep winning.
Right. Well, it's a big season.
Big season.
Magic.
A lot of magic there.
Special.
That's God.
Well, that's God in this case.
Got to be, right? Cespedes hits a three. Kirk Neuenhuis hits a game-winning home run. That's got to be God.
Well, it's good. If it's good, it's God.
I'm sure he'd thank God.
I'm sure he did.
Just like the quarterback does when he wins the Super Bowl. But the guy that goes out there and throws 38 interceptions and throws 3 picks, he ain't going to be thanking God next week. Well, I want to thank God because even though I sucked today and threw 3 interceptions and cost my team the effing game, I know God loves me.
Well, he didn't do the right things leading up to that game.
I guess not.
No reward from God for him. He must have.
Oh, my God. Joyce is yelling at me.
Uh-oh.
She said, cut the crap.
She's listening, see?
Uh-oh. What crap? I'm giving it the way it is. I love Joyce. She's a lot of feel the way she feels. I don't feel that way.
Uh-oh. I hear that thing is vibrating like a...
She said if there's no God, you wouldn't be alive today.
No, if my mom wasn't alive, I wouldn't be alive today.
My father's semen and my mother's eggs in her vagina. Because why can't I hold God responsible?
See, it isn't bizarre, though, because you look at Joyce as an intelligent woman.
Very smarter than me.
Right, and think of what she's saying right now.
Why can't I hold God responsible for all the F-ups in my life? Why am I only going to thank God for being alive today and having Danielle and all that's God? What about the F-ups? That was me?
It's Adam and Eve. Goes back to that.
What? What about it?
They took the apple from Satan, so it's in our hands now.
It's not from Satan, Satan.
The snake. Now it's in our hands.
Now it's in our hands. Except when things go well, then it's him. Do you understand? Listen, I'm okay with it. I get it. But do you understand from a practical sense how silly that is? No? Whose fault is it? It's Muhammad Atta's fault, 9/11. Right? But the people that survived that day, the brother that did not go into the building that day, at Kenneth Fitzgerald, he thanks God. His other brother, by the way, is long dead. I've got the phone message still to his wife. How about that guy? Where was God on that day for the brother, Howard's brother? Where was he that day?
I don't have answers to that.
Of course you don't, because there is no answer. Religion is it's just a convenient way to get through the day, and it's fine. Just don't shove it down my throat, please. Don't shove it down my throat, and don't make it seem like...
I never shove it down your throat.
I know you don't.
I keep it to myself.
Right.
And
forgetting about me and my F-ups, you want to make me... I'm accountable for that. I screwed up. The guy that went to work that morning, 9/11, walked into that building, took the elevator upstairs like my friend Ari did, to the 110th floor to have breakfast at Windows on the World. He didn't even work in that building. He worked on Bond Street. And his wife had a baby a week later. And he died that day. Where was God there?
There was something to be learned from that. God
You're an idiot.
works in strange ways, and you always hear, if a little girl dies of cancer, someone, we learn from this, if there's one person that
it's nonsense.
Gathers any,
which is what you're saying. That you're saying that, right?
What am I saying? That it's nonsense? Of course, the whole thing's nonsense. What are we talking about here? You're talking about a God. You're talking about a spirit up in the clouds that knows all and controls all. It's so bizarre that we can even speak of that. We might as well talk about Santa Claus with a serious face.
Shut up. My kid may be listening. He thinks Santa Claus exists. What's wrong with you?
We might as well talk about the Easter Bunny. And it's bizarre.
But let me ask you this. What would Christmas be like without Santa Claus? It'd be no good. So in a pleasant form of mental masturbation,
right,
we allow this guy to come into our living room every year, December 25th. He climbs down the chimney in his big red suit and leaves gifts under the tree. If, in fact, you could afford to buy gifts, because most of America, I will tell you, with this new thriving economy, can't afford to buy a effing book.
Well, that's a shame. This is God's country.
But they don't know. You don't know that because you see all these wonderful Christmas specials and the kids sitting by the fire and the family is so happy. In the meantime, 95% of America can't even celebrate Christmas because they can't buy anything. They can't. They can't afford it. Where's God there?
It's not about presents. It's about Jesus' birthday.
Sure. Tell that to the kid. Oh, my God, she's killing you.
Well,
Me?
of course.
Oh, Lingel, yeah.
Well, she'll destroy me.
Well, she's still mad at you anyway.
She has zero respect for me as it is, so anything that I say is just gonna
Well, you did kind of stab her in the back.
I did not.
Now, that was a stab. That was multiple stab wounds in the back.
That was like OJ.
How many years on the radio was she?
24 years.
That was 24 stab wounds in the back.
Stop it. No, how dare you.
That was that too,
hugged,
Brute.
No, we hugged and it's all good.
No,
now.
it's
It's funny. Wait, it's funny because me and Lingel were going down the elevator like 2 days later, and Joyce came up the other one, and the door's closed, and he's like, "Oh, wait!" He like runs out of the elevator, runs after Joyce to like make up.
Well, she hates you.
Yeah, no,
there's genuine resentment there.
I love Joyce.
That's great. She doesn't love you.
Well, I can see that. I can handle that.
Show's over. Time for you to go pray.
This conversation could go on all day.
Well, but
seriously,
we're not going to get anywhere.
No.
Well, it's like politics. No one wants to change. No one wants their mind changed in religion. They're adamant about their religion, and they don't want their mind changed.
But I'm okay with that.
That's okay.
They need it.
That's fine. I agree with it.
Just like you, listen, you need marijuana. You need to go to the gym.
Right.
No, I'm serious.
Right.
To get through the day, you need those things. Those are your gods, if you will. I'm serious. You know, you go to AA, they tell you, get a God. Good. You know what God stands for? Group of drunks. G-O-D, group of drunks. Let those people get me through the day. I don't care. But don't try to make it seem practical or realistic, or don't talk about miracles when for every miracle there's 1,000 atrocities. Stop. Just stop. Just do your thing. Kim Davis, go to church, have pictures of Jesus all over your house. Do what you got to do.
Right.
Then when you take a job in your county, go to work and do what the laws tell you to do.
Stay at church all day, tithe your whole check.
Beautiful. Give it all to, what's his name? Who's the guy on Sunday morning who lives in this palatial mansion because you morons out there give him your whole paycheck?
Tony Robbins?
No, Joel Osteen.
Osteen, yeah.
This guy. This guy could give a rat's ass about Jesus. He's up there on stage doing a TV show, flying in private jets, has a Playboy model wife, and you assholes are out there giving this guy your whole damn paycheck every single week because he speaks to Jesus. Stop. Or even the Calvary, where Joyce goes. They've had, how many controversies the last couple of years?
And look at these churches. They're the size of, like, the friggin' AAA.
Oh, listen. The Mullins and he'd only wish they can get that many people to show up. But they need it, so it's all good. Anyway, we got to go. I love you all. Praise God.